Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. I have a really cool update for you guys from the brand Tropic. Of course, you guys have seen Tropic-style straps featured, but you know what? Tropic brand, I have really just come to appreciate as really the top Tropic strap option. Now, what do you get when you get a Tropic brand strap? You're going to get that 1960s original retro design, now softer, more comfortable and durable watch straps than they've ever been. These are designed in Switzerland and manufactured and tested in Italy. Tropic straps are really proud to offer one of the best dive watch straps made of the highest quality rubber compounds available for your sports and dive watch. This segment was brought to you by Tropic brand authorized dealer Holben's Find Watch Bands. And I have, of course, have purchased many of these straps in the past from various dealers and retailers, so it's nice to partner with Holben on this particular segment because I've also spent a lot of money as a customer from their web shop. So huge shout out to Holben's. But this video was, inspired by the straps themselves. And honestly, I'm a huge fan of these. If you guys look through my channel history, you know I've tested quite a few, and I just go back to the Tropic brand. But one of the things that you have to be somewhat concerned with is a bit of analysis process because they offer so many different tones and shades, more so than your average Tropic style. So when you are getting Tropic brand, sometimes you might wonder, do I want the navy blue or the royal blue? Do I want black or anthracite? Or in this case, anthracite gray versus the light gray. And I have to say, after getting the light gray in person, I'm really excited to share with you guys because I think this strap is really underappreciated and misrepresented in so many of the photos and stock images of it. I think it's a much lighter, brighter gray, almost an off-white, but not to an ivory or yellow tone, but just a really cool light gray tone that I think is really awesome. And, if you're looking and you've been Googling and you're searching anthracite gray versus light gray Tropic, what do I do? Hopefully you find this video and it's a huge help for you. So with that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get this piece in hand, and take a closer look. Okay, guys, now if this is your first experience with Tropic straps, they do come in, pretty standard casing here, guys. The box that it comes in is just some plastic. Very nice. It just has a little bit of information on it, but it is quite iconic. So if you are buying one of these, this is the, if you're buying it at retail anyway, somewhere, and you see it in this box, this is the correct box that they should come in. Big shout out again to Holben's for providing these samples in. Guys, the light gray, let's look at it. Wow. It's fantastic. And now, if you haven't watched my previous reviews on these Tropic straps, here are some of my favorite features, guys. They have a beautiful taper, not just width-wise, right? They're tapering down from here to, about 16 millimeters. Nice, dramatic taper, very classic. You're getting that smaller, beautifully refined buckle, guys. Look at this fully milled buckle, nicely signed with the Tropic T. It has satin brushing as well as high polished bevels. So that detail there is great and plays off of your nice, fine timepieces. And then, of course, you do have these beautiful floating keepers, which can be adjusted to whichever space that you need them to hold that tongue down. And I do like that they carried over that basket weave pattern from there on to the keepers, and they even shrunk down the ribbing here on the outer borders to just make sure that scale-wise everything just felt natural and you weren't getting any extra points of friction to dig into your wrist. Also, in terms of tapering, you're going to see this thicker portion here where you're going to have more body within the strap to hold your watch in place, but where it folds under the wrist, it's going to be much thinner so that it doesn't feel quite bulky. So again, really great, and check that out. A Tropic strap, signed Tropic. There's something about it. You're also getting that information of 20 millimeters. You're also getting this great 3D pattern here, which is also going to provide you ventilation, as well as if you are taking this to the water, which I have taken quite a few Tropic straps into the water at this point. The nice thing is you're going to get that ventilation again for you, whether it's your sweat or sea water, or even if you're just getting in a lagoon or a lake, even some fresh water isn't going to be too much to handle for these very nice pieces. I will say, though, they are very pliable. Some would say they're so soft that they feel flimsy. I'm not one of those people. I appreciate the extra level of suppleness, of softness in terms of the way that these feel on the wrist. But if you're somebody that does prefer a bit of a stiffer strap, this might not be the one for you. But if you're looking for that ultimate kind of highest tier level in terms of that luxury kind of sumptuous feel, then the Tropic brand, I feel like, is the natural pinnacle in terms of what you're going to find. Now, I do have this beautiful Glacier dialed Save the Ocean Slim Turtle. I love this piece. I've worn it so much, and I do love it on this very nice anthracite gray. Oh my, it ties in beautifully with that gray ghosted bezel here. I think it plays wonderfully, and I'm normally a big bracelet guy. I do love to have my timepieces on a bracelet. In this case, the OEM bracelet that comes on this, I was just not a fan of. More so the design. The build quality was fine for the price point, but the design itself just did not speak to me. And I did gravitate towards the anthracite here. As you guys can see, I think it looks great. Let's go ahead and get it on the wrist. So if we put this on, oh, also, hey, one thing I forgot to mention, also signed on the underside. Very cool. So when we get this on the wrist, guys, I'll go ahead and the nice thing is the lengths on here are great too. So, you know, these are really meant to be functional. So if you are going to use them diving, you have a little extra length. If you want to put it over, you know, a wetsuit or something like that. Check this out, guys. Ooh, yeah. That is beautiful. That anthracite gray has almost like an admiralty tone where it dips into almost like a bluish hue without being quite blue, which I really, really dig. Of course, if I get my wrist a bit too close to the camera, guys, you're going to get some lens distortion and the watch is going to appear a little bit bigger than it actually is on wrist. So what I like to do is keep my wrist nice and low and then just tighten up the frame so you guys can get a bit of a truer aspect ratio while still taking a detailed look at how this may lay on your own wrist. And check out that Tropic strap, guys, beautifully hugging the wrist. Again, ultimately pliable and supple where it just bends and conforms. And then up here, you're going to have a nice amount of structure and thickness to hold that mechanical timepiece in place, or that dive watch. Even if it's top heavy, it's not going to be flopping around. It's going to be very, very stable on the wrist. I just love the way that these play off of each other. But with that said, let's actually swap out to that light gray and see how that looks. Okay, guys, check that out. This light gray plays beautifully off of that pale silver tone on that Glacier dial. I really, really like this. It's just such a different contrast and pop of color, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Feels a little bit brighter and just a little bit more fun. So I'm really, really digging that, guys. What do you think? Are you, what team are you on? You're going to the dark side with the anthracite or the light side with the light gray? Now, again, guys, there have been some updates to these straps over time, which I do want to point out. Now you're getting that rolled edge, and that has been updated since 2022. So if you are looking for some and you're maybe seeing them at a really deep discount, don't forget to check if they might be old stock with that flat edge. I do prefer the rolled edge here on this 20mm example. And in terms of the availability, guys, available in 20 and 22mm, which is great. So whether you're on the slim turtle or a full-size turtle, these are going to work great for you. And of course, they're going to work on other watches as well. One thing to note, if you are going to use this with a, you know, Prospex Seiko diver, you're going to probably notice that there are larger lug holes there, guys. If I can get it to focus, there we go. And so it's not just a fatter spring bar, it's the actual lug holes. And if you don't want to have a bunch of clicking going on, you are going to have to get about a 1.78mm thickness with a 1.1mm tip. And you can find those, I just go to eBay to get those. But if you do want to have that perfect fit, that's what I would do. Of course, if you're not using Seiko Seiko or or even Citizen ProMaster diver, you probably won't need those more robust, thicker tips. But that's just a little pro tip for you guys if you are going to pair this with a Seiko. But man, I really dig the way this Glacier dial really just livens up with this lighter strap. And I like that the strap isn't too light. It's not white. So it's, you know, again, it's just bright gray enough to where it kind of gives you I think the perks of a white strap without it being so bold and ostentatious sometimes that you might feel when you do have a white watch strap, where it's just, you know, a little bit shouty. I think this is just right up to the edge, and, you know, I wouldn't consider this strap shouty at all. I think it's still quite understated and very handsome. Of course, again, that anthracite gray that I showcased earlier, guys, I think that is a great look as well. And you know what? It's hard for me to say which one is my favorite of the two. So I'm going to have to ask you guys which one you think you like better. Are you going to, tell me in the description, do you think I should stick with the anthracite gray, or should I move over to the light side with this beautiful light gray Tropic? I think it looks fantastic, guys. Again, there's tons of different options here, and they do taper beautifully. The 22 millimeter variations are going to taper to 18 millimeters, while these 20 millimeter variants are going to taper to 16 millimeters. Available in anthracite gray, black, brown, light gray, NATO green, navy blue, orange, Poseidon yellow, and royal blue. So guys, for me, closing thoughts, I personally find the genuine Tropic brand straps to be the finest Tropic style straps on the market, but knowing how expensive they are, it is great to have a chance to see how they, you know, both of these colors, you know, how they look side by side, right? These are both quite versatile gray colors. I think these, you know, this anthracite is going to play really well off of course, you know, some more of your more faded kind of tropical styles, while this one is going to really punch into just adding some brightness, but again, without being overly, I'd say, shouty again, if you were to have it be a more pure white coloration. So yeah, this pale gray, this light gray, I think it looks really cool. So yeah, seeing these side by side is awesome. Getting the chance to kind of put it on this particular watch, I think, is a lot of fun. And, you know, for anybody who has this particular watch, hey, let me know which one would you kind of prefer to wear on this. So again, depending on what you're looking for, you know, either shade of gray may work better. But definitely let me know what you all think down in the comments below. Which would you lean towards and why? Thanks, guys.